at Crypto.com. The 141 points was too shy of their season high. The Lakers had 36 assists and made 56% of their three-pointers, 19 of 34. LeBron played last night. For the first time this season, the 41-year-old star played in the second game of a back-to-back. After playing 33 minutes Monday night at Sacramento, LeBron played 33 minutes Tuesday night and led the Lakers with 31 points. He also had 10 assists and 9 rebounds. LeBron is not letting Father Time boss him around just yet. The Lakers are at home Thursday night against Charlotte. The Clippers are back in action tonight. They're at home against the Washington Wizards at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. The Clippers have won 3 straight. They are 10-2 since December 20th. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, y'all, come on.
Here come the drums. At KBLA Talk 1580, we fight the power every day.
Yeah,
gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need.
Hey.
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it.
Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power. Fight the power. Fight the power.
Freedom of jail, clips inserted. A baby's being born, same time a man is murdered. The beginning and end. As far as rap go, it's only natural. I explain my plateau and also what defines my name. First it was nasty, but times have changed. Ask me now, I'm the artist, but hardcore, my signs for pain. I spent time in the game, kept my mind on fame. Saw fiends shoot up and do lines of saw my close friend shot, flatlining my.
I'm Tabby Smiley. Welcome to hour 2 of our program today. We're still trying to squeeze this 80-pound show into a 40-pound bag. Different guests every half hour today. It's all good. What a great first hour with Benny Thompson, Congressman out of Mississippi, who chaired the January 6th Select Committee. If you missed that conversation, check out the podcast later tonight when it's posted. And then we were joined by Bishop William J. Barber II about this major march coming up as he continues his work organizing poor people in this country. In this hour, 2 more conversations on the backside of this hour. Raquel Graham is here, Shark Tank winner, CEO of Roq Innovation, and host of the radio program Entrepreneuring with Raquel Graham. Today we'll talk to Raquel about how these black-led investment funds are faring in the era of Trump 2.0. We'll talk about the benefits of franchising, and we'll talk about why Africa is the next frontier for black entrepreneurs. Raquel Graham on the B side of this hour. But I am honored, and I do mean honored, to commence this hour in conversation with the renowned journalist, Bill Kurtis. I always love the fact that Kurtis with a K, not a C. Bill Kurtis, renowned broadcaster, documentary producer. He's finally written his memoir. It's called Whirlwind. Whirlwind, My Life Reporting the News. And before I bring Bill on, I want to just read the dedication in his book because it jumped out at me. And let me just read it right quick. I'd like to dedicate this book to the men and women of the television news business. Whatever I experienced, they were also there, creating a visual history. For the most part, our work disappeared like smoke in a breeze, seen once by thousands of people and then never seen again. I hope this book plays a small part to revive what has been lost on the airwaves. And so I start this conversation with Kurtis by asking you, to your mind, what has, in fact, in this moment, been lost on the airwaves?
Hi, Tavis. Well, an awful lot. But, you know, if you look back at television news and the way we covered Vietnam and civil rights, it's gone. It's, if you saw it once, probably never saw it again. And that's the way that we learned history from the 60s, the 70s, even into the 80s. And frankly, we're still doing it like that. It's a flash and it goes by. So I'm happy for the good reporters who are out there and really nail it down, but to break through why they have to know what they're doing.
Yeah. What bothers you most about what's been lost on our airwaves, given the way we are covering news and certainly the way we're covering or not politics these days, Bill Kurtis?
One thing that is terribly upsetting is the way government is really taking over and finding a path into the editorial content of our news. Specifically, I worked for CBS News and CBS for 30 years, and we never had any connection with Washington or politics or just our bosses and our editors. We frankly reported it as we saw it. Now, and you may have followed the change of ownership.
Oh, yeah.
Paramount is taking over CBS. Specifically, let's talk about 60 Minutes. They recently had an occasion where the new news editor came in. She had 5 opportunities Monday through Friday to change a story and did not. But at the last minute, she said, well, I think we can do better. That last minute caused them to pull it off the air. Now, one of the reasons that it's important is that what she wanted was to set up an interview with, one of the administration of Mr. Trump. Well, that is a direct line to the administration. That means he has control over the content of that show, and we're sick about it. I'm sorry for all those at 60 Minutes. They're fighting the good fight, and don't know where they're going. Yeah.
Let me just ask you. I saw Dan Rather not too long ago, and Dan and I have been friendly over the years. Spent some time together here and there. But I'm curious as to how someone who spent 3 decades at CBS. And I hear your commentary about 60 Minutes, and we could talk about the news program and the new host, Tony, and all the drama that happened on night 1. Again, trying to change scripts at the last minute to give the administration more say-so. We'll leave that where it is for the moment. But I want to just ask you, this is a personal question. When you spend that many decades of your life helping to build a news network at the Tiffany Network, no less. This is the network of Dan Rather and Bill Kurtis and Walter Cronkite. When you see what's happening to CBS, that impacts you how? How do you process that on a personal level, Bill Kurtis?
Sickening.
Yeah.
I figured. Sickened by it. Don't know how it's going to come out. You'd have to change ownership, or go through a prefrontal lobotomy for the owners and say, do things. You let us go. Let a reporter be independent. We have that right. We have it written down in the Constitution, Amendment 1. Read with the press. And it was there for a reason. And Thomas Jefferson was the first to comment on it, in which he said, if we give the power to the people, how are they going to make a good decision unless we give them the information? So they put in information that will come from independent reporters. And that has worked pretty well. As a matter of fact, we're, I say, the last institution standing after this wave of the Trump administration has neutralized almost everything from the Supreme Court to EPA. We know drill. We're there, though. And with the exception, and the only way you're going to get us is to own us. I got you. I cannot do justice to this book, Whirlwind, My Life Reporting the News. It is, of course, a memoir about his life. I can't do justice to that in a 30-minute conversation. I tell you what I do want to do when we come forward. I have circled a few of the chapter titles that I have found interesting going through the book myself. And I'm going to just give Bill Kurtis some time when we come forward to just top line some of these chapters. And that may be the best way that I can give you a sense of what you're going to read when you get inside this book, Whirlwind, My Life Reporting the News. Let me cheat right quick and tell you where I'm going to go. There's a chapter called Angela Davis. There's a chapter called Charles Manson. There's a chapter called The Last Days of Vietnam. There's a chapter called The Massacre. There's even a chapter called Muhammad Ali.
just some of the chapter titles in this brilliant memoir, beautiful memoir, written by Bill Kurtis about his life covering and reporting the news. Once again, it's called Whirlwind, and we'll jump into some of these titles, some of these chapters, I should say, and let Bill Kurtis unpack a bit for you when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
BET and PBS, The Tom Joyner Morning Show, and NPR, the cover of Jet and the cover of Time. #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list, 20 honorary doctorate degrees, a dozen NAACP Image Awards, a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, a Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award. From talk shows to talk radio, nobody's ever done it better. You like that? This is Tavis Smiley.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. But prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt? Angela was. She called Civic Tax Relief and saved over $80,000. Felicia was having health problems, got behind on her taxes, interest and penalties were adding up. She called Civic Tax Relief and saved over $15,000. Civic Tax Relief is a professional tax negotiation firm that can protect you from the IRS. If you're getting collection letters, call Civic Tax Relief for a free consultation. They will go to work helping you discover all the relief programs you may qualify for free. James owed the IRS $37,000. Civic Tax Relief represented him against the IRS, and by the time everything was completed, he did not owe the IRS anything. If you are in trouble with the IRS, call Civic Tax Relief for your free consultation now. 800-200-2257. 800-200-2257. Get a free consultation and real tax relief. Call 800-200-2257. 800-200-2257.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
And the top-rated African-American talk show host in the nation, according to Talkers Magazine. You're tapped in with Tavis Smiley right now.
Tavis Smiley and the legendary newsman Bill Kurtis out with a memoir called Whirlwind, My Life Reporting the News. Spent 30-plus years at CBS, and in case you just tuned in, we talked a moment ago about how he is personally processing all the drama we see inside CBS. I mean, the fact that CBS... if you saw the Golden Globes, Nikki Glaser, her monologue was pretty amazing, pretty funny. I like her hosting more than I like her stand-up. That's just me. But she did an amazing job at the Golden Globes the other night. But one of the biggest applause lines was CBS. And I can't do justice to her joke, but she maligned the network as the place where you can now see BS. You can see BS. That was the joke, and it killed. I mean, the place just erupted in laughter. And also, on the one hand, Bill, I don't know if you saw that. On the one hand, it was funny. On the other hand, again, if you've been at CBS for, a good part of your life, that's not so funny. You know what I mean?
Well, not funny now. Because that means that they're not telling the truth.
Yeah.
And, not telling the truth is not having somebody out there actually working, to put everything mega
Right.
into content. It may be shaving. I'll give you an example. Just last night, Trump was at General Motors assembly line. Very difficult to hear. But when they were editing that piece for the half-hour show, it was, and also then for the what is happening in Minnesota, they did not show the whole videotape. Now, we've seen the videotape of Ms. Good being shot in the car, but they came right up to that point and cut it off and went on because of, let's say, time constraints. It was a bad piece. They should have shown us everything.
Yeah.
And that's what let's take Fox. Fox, has good people there, but basically they're dedicated to reporting half the news, their half of what they think is going on, established by Roger Ayers. And boy, they have done a very good job. They're number one cable news in the country.
Nope.
So that's just the second night.
Yeah. Yeah. Just night two. Yeah, we'll leave that. We'll leave that where it is for now, and just pray. I need to put CBS News a little higher on my prayer list, man. I'm praying for CBS News and all the good folk who work there. Okay, I've got to. I want to spend the rest of our time just giving you a chance to sort of top line some of these chapters. As I said, you can't do justice to a great life of reporting that Bill Kurtis has led. Can't do justice to that in a 30-minute conversation. But I figured if I throw some chapter titles at Bill and let him just top line these chapters, it'll give you a sense of what's in the book, and you can get it for yourself. Again, it's called Whirlwind, My Life Reporting the News. I'm going to jump around here, Bill, but chapter 11 is simply titled Angela Davis. Tell me a little bit more.
I thought Angela Davis, I was out there at the time, had committed the crime. The crime was killing a judge, putting with the Soledad brothers. The brother, Jonathan, was trying to get him out of town, so he smuggled in some weapons into a courtroom there at the San Marin County Courthouse and took hostages. The defendant, the prosecuting attorney, two jurors, took them out down the elevator, and the crowd was waiting at the elevator, and he said, take all the pictures you want. He goes to a van and gets in the van and starts to head out. Nobody knows exactly who fired the first shot, but he was killed, and the district attorney was wounded terribly, and that was the end of that. But, the question was, what did Angela Davis do? She bought the guns. She bought the guns the day before or 2 days before and rode around with Jonathan for a day. And I said, well, if ever there was a slam dunk, that's got to be it. And yet Angela Davis was held innocent by an all-white jury. The jury was in a very liberal part of the country down around Palo Alto and Stanford. And what they did, and it was Leo Darnton, who was a wonderful civil rights attorney, they had enough volunteers to go out and interview every one of the prospective jurors. So they had a model jury to test their theories on. Now, that's after that, why everybody does it now, especially the big law firms. So that put them in a good spot of having friendly ears when they presented their case. And the second was turning Angela loose and letting her talk. She was allowed to be her co-counsel along with Darnton, and she was able to deliver the opening comments, and they were explosive. You are, I am a black woman in a white society, and I am innocent of these charges. Well, probably the judge, the trial could have ended there.
Yeah.
And then down to the end, I'll just wrap it up with one. If you go now to the internet, you might be able to find a home video that somebody has placed on under Angela Davis. And in it, Darton, who was 90, I think he probably didn't know that he was being filmed with home video, said, well, what the people you should thank are those volunteers who went out and helped us create the jury that produced, the innocence and the verdict that was. I danced with Angela. It was kind of in the party afterwards. After she was found innocent.
Yeah.
And she's a tall lady. She was so happy, of course, along with everyone else. But I thought it was a little unusual to be playing Chicago blues in the middle of San Jose, California. Oh.
Yeah, the blues work anywhere. They work anywhere at any time, even in Palo Alto. So I ain't mad at them for playing the Chicago blues. That's just the top line of the story that you'll read about Angela Davis in this book, Whirlwind, My Life Reporting the News. I'm watching my time. Let me jump now to Charles Manson. It's chapter 9. Say a quick word about the Charles Manson chapter.
The question is, how did Charles Manson, a 5'2" perennial inmate, of jail, 33 years old, convinced these 4 young white girls who had been educated in the system, had good parents, to go out and kill. Kill 7 people. He did it with a combination of 3 things. 1, drugs, sex, and he was a pimp, among other things, and the mentality of a cult. Don't ever, if you can, don't ever get in a cult, because the information that comes into this small group is limited to him. They didn't see television or anything else. So they thought he was Jesus. Manson, man, son of man. They thought, oh my God, he's what we've been looking for. So these runaway girls, all in their early 20s, who were looking for daddy as they went up and down the coast, fell into the clutches of Charles Manson, who somewhere along the line got the idea that he could not even go to the location of the murder and yet be found guilty. Vicarious prosecution is what it's called. But he thought to the day he died, he would claim, I'm innocent. I was never there. So it's kind of an interesting thing that rarely comes out.
That's Charles Manson. Let me jump to the chapter titled The Last Days of Vietnam. Bill Kurtis has covered so much in his amazing career. Say a quick word about the last days of Vietnam.
I was there 2 weeks before the North Vietnamese came down Highway 1. I was trying to do a variety of stories. One was to jump on a plane, DC-7, with 20 pounds or 20,000 pounds of rice. And they were flying the rice into Phnom Penh that was being overrun by the Khmer Rouge communist guerrillas. We did it. We unloaded it. A rocket came in very close to us. And on our way back, while we were flying, and I was sitting right behind the pilots, there was no traffic control at Tan Son Air Base because everybody had left. And so there was, fighter planes coming out to support the South Vietnamese and this rice flight. And it almost had an air collision, and it had to take a quick dive. I was in the back, like a fool, shooting the empty hold to show, okay, this is what it looked like with rice. This is empty. And as it goes down, we hit centrifugal force. So I floated into the air and had to pull myself down with a freight net that was stopping it, and crawled sheepishly back to the pilots. He looked at me and said, sorry, I told you, don't leave your seat.
There's some harrowing stories in this book. He has seen and covered it all. I just got a few minutes left. I want to get this in right quick. Chapter 23 is Muhammad Ali.
It deserves more than a couple of minutes. I don't think many people know this story. I spent 3 days for a show that was ultimately canceled on CBS. And it was after he had retired. Mm-hmm. And it was in L.A., and he was bored stiff. Angela Dediz, Veronica, his wife, also said that. And so with me, he kind of perked up because he loved the press. And we came pretty close, actually, and mentioned in L.A., mosque, where he went to worship, Berrien Springs, his farm. Mm-hmm. When it got down to it, the question was, as an investigative reporter, I wanted to know if he had been brain damaged and had Parkinson's disease. Mm. Well, Herbert Mohammed, his manager, didn't want to release it. Then they weren't admitting anything. But I said, Herbert, come on. His hand trembles. He slurs. He slides. His feet shuffles. Something's wrong. He had 175,000 hits, most of them deliberately in sparring, so he would be allowed himself to be hit in the face to toughen it, he thought. And so I finally got through to one of his doctors. He gave me permission to go with, he has Parkinson's syndrome. Mm. So that was the first announcement. Other doctors came in about 6 months. But it was one of the experiences of my life. I really loved the man. Yep. He was just so outgoing and so generous, and he wanted to do the right thing. Yeah. Wanted to be, for a Nation of Islam, a preacher. Yeah. Yep. Anyway, he lived after that, Parkinson's disease, for some years.
Bill Kurtis broke that story, and Bill Kurtis broke many stories in his career the world over. He has traveled, reporting for decades for CBS. And as I said, I couldn't do justice to this book in a 30-minute conversation, but there are so many great stories in this book. We talked about Manson and Angela Davis and Muhammad Ali and the last days of Vietnam, but so many other great stories in this book that I can't get to right now, but you can get to them when you get a copy of Whirlwind, My Life Reporting the News by the legendary newsman Bill Kurtis. Bill, an honor to have watched you all those years, to have learned from you, and what a great delight it is for me to have had you on this show. Thank you, sir, for your time, and all the best with the book.
Tavis, you're good. It's a good way to do it. Thank you, sir. So much.
No, thank you so much. He's a great guy. More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
Helping to stretch your moral and political imagination. This is Tavis Smiley.
Hi, it's Tavis Smiley. For 40 years, I have had the privilege, and I don't use that word lightly, the privilege of sitting down with presidents, world leaders, authors, artists, activists, the folk who shape our world. Thousands of conversations, tens of thousands of questions. And somewhere along the way, I realized that the art of conversation is dying. So here's what I'm going to do about it. I am now going to teach what these almost 40 years have taught me, how to have conversations that matter. 6 courses, from the anatomy of a great conversation to generous listening as a superpower to handling difficult exchanges without losing your dignity or your mind. Go to TavisTalks.com right now. That's TavisTalks.com. Download the free guide, see what's coming, sign up to be the first to know when we launch the series. Conversation is a skill, and like any skill, it can be taught. I'll see you in class.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Florida Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins has entered the GOP primary for governor.
Today, I am announcing I will be running to become the next governor of the free and great state of Florida.
In Tallahassee, Collins touted his military service and vowed to fight tough odds. Black former New York City Mayor Eric Adams unveiled the NYC token in Times Square, his new Solana-based crypto coin aimed at combating anti-Semitism and anti-Americanism. He says proceeds will fund nonprofits, HBCU scholarships, and blockchain education, though skeptics warn of a rocky launch and lack of transparent details. And Mary J. Blige is bringing her My Life, My Story residency to Las Vegas. 10 shows hit Dolby Live at Park MGM in May and July. Ticketmaster pre-sales begin on the 15th with general on-sale tickets starting January 16th. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Taking you through West LA on the 10 westbound before the 405. There is a wreck now on the shoulder, but you are slow from Vermont Avenue. As well as El Segundo 105 westbound before Nash Street. A conked out car continues to block your right lane, and you'll be hitting those brakes all the way from La Cienega Boulevard as CHP attempts to move it to the shoulder. And in Pasadena, we also have a stall. Your left lane is taken up on that 210 westbound at Sierra Madre Boulevard.
Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers found their offense Tuesday night against Atlanta. They snapped a 3-game losing streak with a 141-116 win at Crypto.com. The 141 points was too shy of their season high. The Lakers had 36 assists and made 56% of their three-pointers, 19 of 34. LeBron played last night. For the first time this season, the 41-year-old star played in the second game of a back-to-back. After playing 33 minutes Monday night at Sacramento, LeBron played 33 minutes Tuesday night and led the Lakers with 31 points. He also had 10 assists and 9 rebounds. LeBron is not letting Father Time boss him around just yet. The Lakers are at home Thursday night against Charlotte. The Clippers are back in action tonight. They're at home against the Washington Wizards at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. The Clippers have won 3 straight. They are 10-2 since December 20th. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, y'all, come on.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we fight the power every day.
Yeah, gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey.
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it! Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power! Fight the power!
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. Freedom is an endless meeting. So let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
We thank Bill Kurtis for that conversation. That's an amazing book, by the way. I recommend that you get it. He has seen a little bit of everything in 30-plus years of covering the news for CBS. So the book is called Whirlwind, and I, again, recommend that you check it out. We're doing it, Andy. We're squeezing this 80-pound show into this 40-pound bag. We're, halfway through now. Every half hour, a different guest. Raquel Graham just walked in. She said, I don't know how you do it. And I said, you know what, Raquel? I don't know how I do it either. When we change guests every half hour for 3 hours. But anyway, we're working our way through. So Raquel Graham is here, winner of Shark Tank. CEO of Roq Innovation, host of the radio program Entrepreneuring with Raquel Graham. She is our expert on all things business. And today we're going to talk about how black-led investment funds are faring in the era of Trump 2.0. We'll talk about the benefits of franchising and spend a little time talking about why Africa is the new next frontier for black entrepreneurs. After I say Happy New Year to Raquel Graham. Haven't seen her in the new year. How are you?
I am great. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you. Although things ain't so happy. I said that earlier. It's a bunch of drama right about now, so we just trying to manufacture our own happiness.
True.
In moments like these, but it's okay.
But I'm coming with good news.
There you go. Good news. All right.
I'm determined.
Let's go. If you got good news, I will take it. Go.
Yes, because black-led investment funds are thriving. Believe it or not. Yep. Yes. And it's great because, with this change in DEI and the politics, it is great to see, sometimes bad things lead to great things. Mm-hmm. And because of DEI and the way everything has been positioned, what these funds have done is really prove that black products, black companies, it is really about performance. Mm-hmm. And this is why they're thriving, because they have taken the chance and they've moved forward. And there's also cultural relevance, right? So what has happened traditionally with, say, venture funds, a lot of our products and our companies have not been considered mainstream. They've been considered fringe. But the truth is, black people have $1 trillion in spending power. So
that ain't fringe.
That's not fringe at all, right? And that's how it's treated with in the investment community. So now that they're taking the lead, they are actually proving that no, we're not fringe at all. Like, we are now mainstream. And it's great for black companies to be able to go to companies that are culturally fluent, right? And they can get culturally fluent capital, which is what they're calling it now, because they understand that it's not fringe. If you're a black company and you're going into a mainstream venture fund, which, by the way, we only get 1% anyway, if that, and that, that has changed. The lift to make them understand what the product is, the cultural relevance of it, why it's important, why it would be purchased, etc. That alone is such a lift. That's not even worth it. Whereas if you go into these black-led funds, you don't even have that part to have to lift anymore. So they are thriving, they are growing, and this has been one of the ways that some of the black companies have been able to sustain, because after the policies changed, a lot of companies no longer got the support. And as you know, in venture, it takes a while to get to where you need to go, right? And you need the constant support. And after the DEI was rolled back, a lot of black companies were, left in a lurch.
Everybody is talking these days about, I laugh over the course of my career at words that become, the thing. And the word these days is resilience. Everybody's talking about, people are teaching classes about, there are books written about, resilience is the thing. Clearly, there are no more resilient people on the planet than black people. No question about that to my mind. And yet this is more than just resilience. What I hear you suggesting to me is that these black people have a thoughtful strategy that they're enacting to help them, these black-led venture funds, black-led investment funds, that it's not just the resilience part, but they have been strategic in how they're going about navigating this era.
And really, it's the performance is what is carrying this, right? So it's always been positioned, first of all, a lot of the black companies that got some money during the George Floyd period, that was performative, right? Which is why it was pulled back immediately after DEI, right? Yep. Well, what these black funds are showing is that these companies are performing, right? So they would not be able to sustain themselves if they were investing in companies that weren't doing well. So it is actually, it's strategic. It's strategic because it works.
Yeah. one of the things that annoyed me, I mean, annoyed is, that's the nicest word I can use on radio, but I'm beyond annoyed by it. But all of these companies, I mean all of them, to your point, post the murder of George Floyd, made all these grandiose commitments. We're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. We're going to do the other. First of all, half of them lied. They didn't do it.
Right.
And those who did do it, to your point, pulled back as quickly as they could. They couldn't wait for Trump to show up.
Right.
To run this anti-DEI agenda, to run this anti-black agenda, to get out of doing what they didn't want to do in the first place.
Right.
And so they gut they gut their DEI departments. As I've said before, they're not spending money through their ad agencies on black-owned media. I know this firsthand.
Right.
And so we're trying to work our way through this process, as are all my colleagues across the country who own black media outlets. I'm talking to them all the time. Everybody's struggling, trying to figure out, like these black-led investment firms, how to navigate our way through this. But it just annoys me that they made these commitments only because they had to, and then they did a U-turn as quickly as they could.
Not only did they do a U-turn, but in following, because this is what I do, following a lot of the companies that were supported, and then finding out exactly what the process was. A lot of the companies, unfortunately, were set up for failure because they were thrown this money. And usually, if you understand venture, it comes with support. It comes with connections. It comes with direction, all of that, right? And they were given money that was not enough, first of all, for the goal, right? But if you don't know, you don't even know, right? And you're thinking it's a great thing, and they're positioning this to be a great thing, but really, so then what ended up happening was that a lot of those companies failed because they were almost set up to fail.
I've learned this the hard way. In California, for example, we're talking to folk across the country. I know the California numbers. That the overwhelming majority of black-owned businesses that get off the ground in California go under 18 months in. And they go under, they fail 18 months in, not because they didn't have a great idea, not because they didn't work hard, none of that. It's because they were underfunded to begin with.
Always underfunded.
Yeah, exactly. So you got enough money, and again, I know something about that trying to build this radio station. You got enough money to get off the ground, but here's the rub. If you don't start making money before your operating capital runs out, you are in trouble. And you're an owner. You got Roq Innovation.
Absolutely.
You understand it. So the question is, can you make money fast enough before your investment capital runs out to keep going? And that's why 18 months in, most black businesses in California go under it. Thank God for Jesus. We're still here pushing toward year 5, but it's not been easy. And again, I ain't telling you stuff that you don't know.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Running your own company. Yeah, but it's that there's a steep. It's a steep climb, but there's a very these two things are very different, right? Your startup capital and your operating capital.
Right.
And if you can't navigate from one to the other, you're in trouble.
That's
so
right.
You're right. A lot of these things are designed to fail. When we come forward, I want to just spend a little time, give you some time, I should say, to spend on this, because you teed this up earlier, and I want to come to it. So many black products and black companies, to your point, Raquel, have been labeled as fringe, but I think about this all the time. And here's how I put it. At some point, being black is going to be in vogue in this country. And here's what I mean by that. We are hurtling inexorably, as everybody knows, toward that day where America, for the first time ever, will be a majority-minority country. So two things seem true to me, and I want to get your temperature, take your temperature on this when we come forward. Two things seem true to me. One is that if you are a product producer and you are not selling your product to people of color, you're in trouble. A few years from now, you will no longer be around. Because if the country is majority-minority and you think you can advance your company without selling to black and brown people, you're completely stuck on stupid. So if you're a product producer and you didn't figure that out, you're in trouble somewhere down the road. And secondly, if you happen to be, on the flip side, a company that is owned by people of color and you're targeting people of color, at some point, you're going to make some money. Because your audience is going to grow. Put another way, that's going to be the largest audience in this country. Two sides of the same coin. That's how I see it. I could be wrong. We'll see what Raquel Graham has to say about that when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
From California to the Carolinas, everybody's listening to Tavis. More when we come forward.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. If you're struggling with mental health, You should know that there are resources out there that can help. And it's okay to talk about it if you need to. One place to get started with information is loveyourmindtoday.org. Loveyourmindtoday.org offers a range of guides, instructions, and insights for dealing with difficult situations or getting through a tough time. If you're struggling with mental health, get the help you need, because most people out here really care. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Worried about unpredictable utility bills this winter? LADWP's Level Pay makes budgeting a breeze. With Level Pay, you'll receive a monthly bill that stays the same. No surprises. Even past due amounts can be rolled in, and you'll skip those seasonal spikes from heating your home. Sign up today at ladwp.com/levelpay. That's ladwp.com/levelpay, or call 1-800-DIAL-DWP and take control of your bill. Protect yourself from Medicare card scams. Scammers may call, email, or even knock on your door claiming they need your Medicare info, asking for money or threatening to cancel your benefits. Don't fall for it. It's a scam. Remember, Medicare doesn't need to verify your information. They already have it. Medicare won't charge you for a new card and will never threaten to cancel benefits. Check your Medicare statements for suspicious charges and report scams to the California Senior Medicare Patrol at 1-855-613-7080. We're here to help.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach? Transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal? Prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Less monologue, more dialogue. Tavis Smiley continues right now.
He does indeed with Raquel Graham, Shark Tank winner, CEO of Roq Innovation, host of Entrepreneuring with Raquel Graham, the radio program. She's my colleague here in LA, and I'm always delighted to have her on the national show. So you heard me opine on my POV on this, that if you're a product producer and you've not found a way to sell your product to people of color, you're going to be in trouble in the years to come as we become a minority country. On the flip side, if you are a minority-led, minority-owned company and you've already tapped into an audience of people of color, you're going to be all right in the years to come. What am I wrong about?
I don't know. I think two things can be true.
Right.
So let's just talk about, I think we have a live example just with Target. Mm-hmm. Okay, so they're not necessarily a producer, but the fact that
they're selling product, though.
Right?
Same
right?
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we see what happened with them,
Right.
and so you just take away the black support.
That's right.
And it is very evident. Okay,
Impacts your bottom line. Yeah.
Impacts your bottom line in a massive way, right? So yes, I think that, well, first of all, we are not fringe. That's psychological. That is false. We've been made to believe that just based on, this is why the Black-led funds are so important, because they are redefining what is mainstream and proving by performance and numbers that we are not fringe. That we're not some subsegment, right? Yeah. There's no secret the power of the black dollar. Now, it is not treated that way by banks and investment circles, but that is, let's think about that psychologically, understanding that is strategic, right? That is a way to keep us at a certain level. That is why it is structured that way, right? So now, if you are something that a lot of Black founders, in particular female founders, there's been a conversation on social about, even though they are Black-led, say if it's makeup, that does not mean that it's just for Black people, right? Sure. Because sure, foundation is one thing, but there is lipstick and blush and all of that, right? So the other thing is for Black-led businesses to consider different kind of marketing where, yes, it is made for us and it is led by us, but you too wear eyeshadow and earrings and these different things. So there's a way to consider difference in marketing.
Yep. As a case in point, you see on the wall behind me, our theme for our station, our logo is unapologetically progressive. When we started this almost 5 years ago, we could have gone with unapologetically Black. I never did that because I knew that while I want to make sure that we serve our audience of Black people, there are a whole lot of folk who are progressive in their thinking who don't look like me. So why limit yourself to a mantra of being unapologetically Black, which we are, but y'all know that when we show up every day to begin with.
Right.
So we want to go to we want to build a broader progressive audience of listeners and not just tie ourselves into a Black audience. And ain't nothing wrong with that, but that's a case in point for how you
because that is strategy.
That's
right. That's economics.
That's right. When we come forward in our remaining moments with Raquel Graham, we'll go from one F word to the other F word. I don't mean the Donald Trump F word. You saw Donald Trump yesterday. You know,
with the finger?
And F you. It was both. He gave him the bird and he said F you. So
that's not the first time on.
Or the last. So we're not talking about that F word, and we're not talking about the other F word of a fringe. It's the F word of franchising. We'll talk about that F word when we come forward. You're listening to Raquel Graham on Tavis Smiley.
This is getting good.
Yeah, man.
Tavis Smiley continues when we come forward.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control.
Yikes!
So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Still battling a thirsty lawn that guzzles water and drains your wallet? Let LADWP turn that patch of grass into a gorgeous, drought-smart garden for free. We're talking a full California-friendly landscape makeover designed and installed by pros at no cost to you. That's right, LADWP does the work, you get the upgrade. Ready to transform your yard and save big? Visit ladwp.com/leap. That's ladwp.com/LEAP. Join Ignited Light at the 10th Annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service, Saturday, January 17th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Holman United Methodist Church, 3320 West Adams Boulevard, west of Arlington. This service for humanity brings together community providers offering free food and clothing, medical screenings, legal, dental, academic, and career services, plus vaccinations, flu shots, HIV and STD testing, and blood pressure checks. All are welcome. That's January 17th at Holman United Methodist Church. For more information, go to adayon.org. That's adayon.org.
More honesty than you can handle. More empowerment than you can imagine. You're tuned in to Tavis Smiley.
All right, Tavis Smiley, Raquel Graham. I'm looking at my checklist. We've talked about Black-led investment funds. We promised to also talk about the benefits of franchising. Go.
Franchising is making a bigger comeback than ever, at least for Black people. And this is because it has historically helped build the middle class wealth, right? And it is a faster path to revenue. It has lower operational risk, and it comes with the brand recognition. And there's not as much guesswork, so it has the operational insights and training, not much. It's a proven model, which is what is, so tricky about startups and, entrepreneurship. So at least within this framework, you have guidance, right? It's already proven.
Yeah.
You're not reinventing the wheel.
The scary part for me about franchising, I got a lot of friends in this space. I got friends with Subway shops and friends with McDonald's franchises, and just run the list, right? And they're doing and some of them are doing quite well. The thing about the scary part these days about franchising is that the cost of entry is so much higher than it used to be. I mean, McDonald's was never cheap, but buying a McDonald's franchise a couple of decades ago ain't the same price tag of buying a McDonald's franchise now, and that's true for franchising across the board. You're right.
That's true for anything,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the scary part for me. If you're black and you want to do a franchise, I'm all for it. But the barrier to entry is the cost of getting it off the ground.
True, but if you do it the other way, there's always a risk.
Sure.
Right? It's a matter of picking where that money is going to go. Because if it's a startup, that money is going to go into starting the company, operational cost, marketing, all the different things from the ground up.
You got to build your own brand.
Not knowing if it's going to, is it the right way? I mean, we know how that goes. Whereas at least within this framework, anything that's worth it is not going to be easy, right? But at least with the franchising model, we've been around. And the other thing is that there's not the gatekeeping that comes with the investing piece, right? If you can come up with the money, you're in, right?
Yep.
And that is a great space for us because it's one of the few where there isn't that gatekeeping.
There is a safety. It's my word. There's a certain safety net that I do that I'm kind of envious of, kind of jealous of. If you jump out with a McDonald's franchise or Chipotle or Subway or anything else, I guess I got food on my mind. I must be hungry, I guess. There are all kinds of franchises other than food, but I got food on the brain. If you jump out with a brand like that, the chance of you failing, it's not impossible, but it's slimmer because those brands succeed for a reason.
Right. And you have a longer runway.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
And guidance to figure it out.
Yeah.
Right. And then there's so many different levers that you can pull, like what we see what's happening with, say, Popeyes and Megan. Right. And once again, our cultural influence. Yeah. And that was such an incredibly successful campaign.
Megan would be Megan Thee Stallion.
Right. I'm sorry.
In case you didn't know. Yeah. Who's Megan? No, I think
how we just assume, right?
Yeah.
And she has been bringing the benefit to that franchise, right? And now she has ownership, which is like a great evolution because nothing is static, right? So now this is another lever that for us culturally, how we can pull the lever on this franchising model, right?
And the last thing, we're out of time here. We'll do the Africa thing next time.
Okay.
But the other thing about franchising is that they have a vested interest in making sure you succeed.
That's right.
When's the last time you saw McDonald's go out of business?
Right.
You see my point?
Right.
They have a vested interest in making sure it succeeds. So there's another level of safety.
That's right.
Again, none of this stuff is easy. Startup is a startup. I don't care whether you franchising or do it on your own, as Raquel and I have done. It's not easy, but there is a certain, again, they want to see it succeed. Raquel Graham, a winner of Shark Tank, CEO of Roq Innovation, host of Entrepreneuring with Raquel Graham. Raquel Graham, good to see you.
Great to see you.
Talk to you soon.
All right.
More of Tavis Smile when we come forward.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Thousands of nurses in New York City remain on strike for a third day, demanding higher pay, better benefits, and improved working conditions.
The staff that has been brought in to replace us is not properly trained to handle the level of emergencies that we encounter.
Temporary nurses are filling in, and no new talks are scheduled. Mike Tomlin is stepping down as the Pittsburgh Steelers head coach after 19 seasons. Tomlin won a Super Bowl in his second year, only the second black head coach to do so, and never had a losing season, finishing with 201 wins. And Chris Brown's $500 million lawsuit over a documentary about his alleged violent past has been dismissed. A judge ruled producers of Investigation Discovery's Chris Brown: A History of Violence followed journalistic standards. Brown claims the film was full of lies. Get BIN News now, on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Probably the biggest slowdown right now is in Pico Rivera, 605 southbound before Washington. The carpooling left lanes are blocked. Traffic is jammed back from the 60. As many as 4 vehicles involved in that wreck. If you're trying to get through the Moreno Valley area, 60 eastbound at Redlands Boulevard, looks like that off-ramp is shut down until 3 p.m. And a work zone in Diamond Bar, 57 southbound from Sunset Crossing down to the 60. The right lane closed until 3:30.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers found their offense Tuesday night against Atlanta. They snapped a 3-game losing streak with a 141-116 win at Crypto.com. The 141 points was 2 shy of their season high. The Lakers had 36 assists and made 56% of their three-pointers, 19 of 34. LeBron played last night. For the first time this season, the 41-year-old star played in the second game of a back-to-back. After playing 33 minutes Monday night at Sacramento, LeBron played 33 minutes Tuesday night and led the Lakers with 31 points. He also had 10 assists and 9 rebounds. LeBron is not letting Father Time boss him around just yet. The Lakers are at home Thursday night against Charlotte. The Clippers are back in action tonight. They're at home against the Washington Wizards at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. The Clippers have won 3 straight. They are 10-2 since December 20th. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcasts of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader. Following the leader. Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Watching. Who's watching me?
I'm Tabby Smiley. Glad to have you with us in this third and final hour of today's program. We've been trying to squeeze this 80-pound show into the 40-pound bag, and here we are in the last hour, so we're getting it in there. In this hour, 2 more conversations as promised on the B side of this hour. Television writer and actor IIunga Adell looks back on his time on Sanford and Son, which premiered on this day back in 1972 with a brilliant theme song from Quincy Jones. We'll play that for you again on the backside of this hour. Adell went on to work for some other beloved black shows, including 227, A Different World, Roq, Moesha, to name a few. We'll talk about Sanford and Son and all the other great shows IIunga Adell has worked on over the course of his brilliant career on the backside of this hour. In this first half hour, though, a conversation with actor and comedian Jermaine Fowler about his new horror film. It's called Night Patrol. Before I commence the conversation, here's the trailer for Night Patrol.
When I was a kid, all I wanted to do was be a cop. I just thought it was the coolest thing. We're portrayed differently now. We're seen in a very negative light. Most of us are good, but there are a few bad apples out there.
Turn around and face the other way.
What is this? They shot your sister. I think it was Night Patrol.
You guys are special. I want to be a part of that. When are you gonna let me in on the big secret around here?
You want in, Night Patrol? This is it.
What did you do to me? They vampires.
Tonight, let's go. We show him how Night Patrol hunts. We bleed colonial courts dry. I heard what they were. I still didn't believe.
Y'all feel that? Coming for us next.
This is Night Patrol. We need to be ready.
Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! Oh,
Hey. This is a sacred night. This is good versus evil.
We ain't going nowhere till we get some payback on that demon.
Is it demons? It could be lizard, man.
What? Yo, Trip, you bought them silver bullets?
Hold up, blood. That's werewolves, man. You tripping.
I ain't tripping no,
No, suck it.
Jermaine Fowler, how are you, sir? Ooh, you sound underwater. Say that again. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Tavis?
There you go. I'm well. Your first comment, you sound underwater. I couldn't hear you well. I'm doing okay, man. If I complained, I've been in great. Good to have you on the program. Let me start by asking, was a horror film on your bucket list?
I'm not sure. I've just always been gravitated to just good storytelling. Whether it's horror or comedy or drama, whatever it is, I'm just interested in telling good stories.
Yeah. It seems to me, and I think I'm right about this. I was in a conversation not too long ago about this with somebody, as a matter of fact. And maybe we give Jordan Peele some credit for this. I don't want to give it all to Jordan. I like Jordan. We give Jordan Peele some credit for this, but it seems to me like the horror genre has really popped off the last number of years, and that black people are loving it. Does that comment resonate with you? That the horror thing is really popping off?
That tracks. Well, one, Jordan is such a student of horror. He's a student. I've always been a fan of the horror movies from the 70s and the more psychological kind of approach to them. And I feel these days there's an added layer to the horror movies that are coming out that I believe audiences have just been attracted to. I believe this one, Night Patrol, it's an extension of that.
Yeah. When you say added layer to these horror films that are coming out of late, what do you mean by added layer?
Well, if you look at a movie like Smile.
Hey, Jermaine, hold tight. Jermaine, hold tight. Jermaine sounds horrible. Jermaine sounds horrible. We got to get this thing fixed. I don't want to waste my time, his time, or the audience's time when we can't understand what he's saying. So let's get this technical issue worked out. It's live radio. It happens. No big deal. We'll get that figured out, and we'll continue our conversation with Jermaine Fowler when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
BET and PBS, the Tom Joyner Morning Show, and NPR, the cover of Jet and the cover of Time. #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list, 20 honorary doctorate degrees, a dozen NAACP Image Awards, a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, a Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award. From talk shows to talk radio, nobody's ever done it better. You like that? This is Tavis Smiley.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control.
Yikes!
So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt? Angela was. She called Civic Tax Relief and saved over $80,000. Felicia was having health problems, got behind on her taxes, interest and penalties were adding up. She called Civic Tax Relief and saved over $15,000. Civic Tax Relief is a professional tax negotiation firm that can protect you from the IRS. If you're getting collection letters, call Civic Tax Relief for a free consultation. They will go to work helping you discover all the relief programs you may qualify for free. James owed the IRS $37,000. Civic Tax Relief represented him against the IRS, and by the time everything was completed, he did not owe the IRS anything. If you are in trouble with the IRS, call Civic Tax Relief for your free consultation now. 800-200-2257. 800-200-2257. Get a free consultation and real tax relief. Call 800-200-2257. 800-200-2257.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. LA County's new Justice Care and Opportunities Department, or JCOD, is here to support justice-involved individuals and their families. The JCOD Support Center is now taking calls at 1-833-LACJCOD. That's 1-833-522-5263. Available 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., the Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support. They offer court reminders, connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and childcare. The JCOD hotline provides personalized help to connect you with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available every day at 1-833-522-5263. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Helping to make you the most knowledgeable person in your circle of friends. This is Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley, comedian and actor Jermaine Fowler. The new movie, the new horror film is called Night Patrol. Let's see if I can hear Jermaine a little better now. Jermaine, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? All right, we still got a problem here. All righty. So again, we are trying to in this last hour trying to get this 80-pound show in this 40-pound bag, and we were doing so good, Andy, until Jermaine's audio screwed up. So again, the movie's called Night Patrol. We'll get him back on the phone here and continue talking about that. In the interim, as I mentioned, he's also a comedian. So let me give you a little taste. I was going to do this a little bit later, but I'll do it now. Here's a taste of some of his stand-up.
What's up, audience? How y'all doing? Good? All right. That's dope. I'm going back home for the holidays, see my family. And I'm excited to see my twin brother, Jerome, right? But growing up, Jerome and I had a sibling rivalry because of our names. Jerome was named after my father, Jerome Sr., which is cool. That's fine. Like, I'm all for naming your kids after you. But why would you do it if you have twins? Like, does that mean... I don't know why y'all laughing. It's not nice. It's not a nice thing to do to a kid. Like, if you had kids, you'd be like, oh, that's named after me. I don't know what the hell that is right there. That's a monster. Get away from my kid, you monster. That's rude. You don't do that. That's favoritism. Like, at least name me something more creative like Jerome 2.0 or I can't believe he's not Jerome. Something nice. Something nice. Try, And I love Jerome, but, people think because you're twins, you got to be exactly alike. And it's not true. Jerome and I were complete opposites growing up, For example, Jerome liked going to jail. He loved jail. Loved it. And that wasn't my scene. I wasn't into that. I ain't gonna do jail. One night, Jerome went to jail for selling weed, right? Which is cool, I guess. I don't know. But, you know, it was tough for me. That's my twin. I love him to death, but it was rough because it was hard growing up with a criminal that kind of looks like you. It was hard. Look, people back home would always confuse us. Like, hey, what's up, Jerome? You owe me some money. I want it back. I want it back. I'm going to kill you. And I'm like, hey, I ain't Jerome. All right, I'm his twin brother, Jermaine.
I guess there is. That's one of the benefits to not having a twin who's a criminal. You don't get confused with him. What is your brother in the business as well, Jermaine?
Jerome? No, Jerome is not in the business.
Okay.
It's just me.
Yeah, that's enough. That's enough. One's enough. So again, I guess it's Jermaine Fowler. In case you've just tuned in, we had some technical issues trying to get him online. We played earlier a clip from the new horror film Night Patrol that Jermaine stars in, and I was starting to feel like this radio show was becoming a horror show. Just trying to get Jermaine on the line. I was frightened and terrified that this conversation would never happen. But I digress on that. You were saying a moment ago or moments ago before we lost you, you were saying that you think there's a new layer to some of these horror films that are coming out. I was saying that we give Jordan Peele some credit for this, but it seems to me that over the last few years, this horror thing has really jumped off, certainly for black audiences. You agreed with that, but you were saying that you think there's a different layer to the kind of horror films we're getting today. What's that layer you were referencing?
Well, the thing is, I'm such a horror fan. I love horror movies.
Right.
I didn't as a kid. I've just noticed that with films like Smile, that film sort of deals with mental health issues, and there's also Invisible Man. That's a Blumhouse joint. Invisible Man. That deals with domestic violence, you know, and then you have Get Out, which is systemic racism and racial fetishization, you know, all that. Yeah. So I feel like we're kind of like doing what horror films are doing in the 70s, which was just adding these amazing layers of storytelling that just gravitates audiences to them. Like you have your horror, you got your gore, but you got to have a story too. Yep.
Tell me about the storytelling in Night Patrol.
Night Patrol's got some layers to it. Well, one, you got my character. I play X, and X is a police officer / former gangbanger who is working at a police department where he's trying to rise up the ranks at, and so. He's so deluded that he's just not acknowledging the fact that he's not very welcome there. You know, he's black. And then you have this other layer to the police department. They're vampires who are literally sucking the life out of the hood. And so X's mindset is, you know, maybe I can change it from within. And that's a loaded, you know, theme in itself. And then you have his family. He's got mother issues and brother issues. His whole family's kind of estranged. And they're in the same neighborhood where this particular police department wants to terrorize.
I'm still laughing at a police officer named X. Whose idea was it for a cop to
Get out my pocket, fool. Get out my pocket.
That's it. I laugh all the time when I think about Ice-T. Here's this guy. Here his guy is writing and rapping hit songs about the police, and he ends up playing one on television for 20 plus years. Ice-T has come up off of that TV show, but it's just funny to me, given the stuff he rapped about and the character he's played all these years. So it's just funny to me that you got a cop. You got a cop called X. So tell me more, Jermaine, about the way you're going about making your choices these days. You said a moment ago you've always loved horror films. You're a comedian. You're an actor. So just give me a sense at this stage of your career how you're going about making decisions for the stuff that you do or want to do.
Oh, brother, Travis, I'm a horror fan now, but when I was younger, I was not. I'm from Maryland, so we used to live around the woods all the time. And, Jason movies like Friday the 13th, it freaked me out. So it did. I thought I was in the Camp Blood. Like I was just freaked out by the films. And it wasn't until 2018 maybe or 2015, something like that. I was around that era. Like I was kind of, learning more about the genre and falling in love with it, and meeting fans of the genre too, because horror fans they're diehards. They're wonderful fans. And as far as my choices go, I follow the stories. I follow just great scripts, and I love filmmakers who just want to say something and want to take a chance. All I want to do is use my likeness to get movies that don't get normally made. That's all I want to do.
Mm-hmm. I should mention that Night Patrol is in theaters on January the 16th. So if you are into the horror genre, Jermaine was not when he was a kid. I was not when I was a kid. But again, it's getting to be hegemonic. All these great horror films now, with as Jermaine said, storylines that are textured and that are layered and that are getting deeper. You got your gore and everything else around it, but you got to love Jordan Peele again for the stuff he's done. That again, it's textured, it's layered, and there's some of that in Night Patrol. Again, it's in theaters on January the 16th. Now, this audience knows I always love the backstory. Give me the Jermaine Fowler backstory. How did comedy become your lane?
Comedy became my lane because you needed to have a sense of humor when you lived in my house, my neighborhood. You had to have a sense of humor. Growing up, we watched Def Comedy Jam. Growing up, we watched Martin. Growing up, Simpsons, Arrested Development. It was just a wide range of comedy in the house. And then it wasn't until about 11th, 12th grade I decided I wanted to go do stand-up because I didn't have money for college. Oh, I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this out. And I never looked back. It was my favorite, best decision, I've ever made.
Yeah. Speaking of great decisions, and you knew this was going to come up. Not everybody gets a chance to work alongside Eddie Murphy. I mean, Eddie is Eddie's Eddie, and we all love Eddie. But to get a chance to play alongside him and Coming to America, we know you, of course, as the long lost son of King Hakeem. Akeem, I should say. But just talk to me. Just reflect on the experience of having the opportunity to work alongside the great Eddie Murphy.
Eddie, well, I'll say this. They say never meet your heroes, and with Eddie, it's just different. Yeah. Eddie, I'm just so happy. Not only got to work with him, but I also just got to listen to him. And when he was around, I listened to all his stories, and I'm just sponging everything up. Like the man is not only a smart, amazing, intuitive student. He still is wants to give so much back to cinema and to comedy. Like the man is. He's still got so much to. I just can't wait to see Eddie. I want to see him get an Oscar. To be honest, I would love to write something for that man. I'm dead serious. But no, working with him was special. Yeah, truly. But beyond that, not only is he an amazing hero of mine, the man is an amazing father, amazing husband, and seeing the type of person he was with his family just was inspiring. Very grounded and down to earth. The man was just he's a marvel.
Yep. Have you seen the documentary on Netflix about his doc on Netflix?
No, I haven't seen it, but you're like the 10th person to tell me about. I hear it's amazing.
Yeah. It's good. It's called Being Eddie. I've seen it a couple times now because I want to just check it out a second time. I'm like that sometimes when there's so much stuff in there. It's like watching a Dave Chappelle stand-up, man. Speaking of great stuff, I look at Dave's stuff, and I have to watch that stuff. I want to watch it. I don't have to. I want to watch it a couple of times because Dave is throwing stuff at you so fast and so furiously that you need a second or third time to get all the stuff. You can't pick up everything Dave's putting down in just in you're right. It's textured, it's layered. So I watch it a few times. It's kind of like reading a Toni Morrison book. Ain't nobody ever read a Toni Morrison book one time. You got to go back 2 or 3 times because Toni Morrison put so much stuff in those novels that you have to read it 2 or 3 times. And I feel that I felt the way about Being Eddie. I wanted to watch it a second time just to go back and see what I missed and see if I felt differently about it. But it is amazing to consider from whence Eddie came. And the part that just blows me away about Eddie's career is how young he was, Jermaine, how young he was when he took off and made his entree on SNL and changed that show. But so when you spend time with him, what are the takeaways? Give me 1 or 2 takeaways. What do you learn when you're listening to Eddie? What do you learn when you're working alongside Eddie? My thing is that every experience I have, I want some takeaways. I want to be, when I'm around great people, I want to take one or two things away from them that I can incorporate into my work, into my witness. So give me one or two takeaways that one gets when one spends that kind of time with Eddie Murphy.
Yes, sir. I'll say this. I try to keep those moments that, I share with Eddie between me and Eddie.
Sure.
But I will say this. I learned grace watching him maneuver and communicate, and even in his interviews, the man is just so graceful. He's very wise. He's very meticulous and with his wording, and he's a storyteller. His mind is such a, like, you can see him work when he's talking. The man is just like, I can't put into words. And I'm a different person. I'm not him. I'm a different actor. I'm a different man. I'm a different. I'm just different. But there are things that I do watch him do, and it's the elegance is just something that I admire about the guy.
Yep.
He's different, man.
No, I still think he's underrated. You mentioned earlier, he should get an Oscar. I want that for him as well. Not that his
Dream
career,
Girl.
Yeah, exactly. He should have got
Dream
it for
Girl.
that. Should have got it for that. Exactly. Not that his career is defined by whether he wins one or doesn't. I mean, Eddie is Eddie.
I agree.
His work speaks for itself. But I take your point about wanting to see him with that kind of honor. But I still feel, and I love Eddie Murphy. He knows that every time I see him, I give him a big hug and tell him that. But I still think he's underrated. When you look, I saw it a couple weeks ago. When you look at any of those Clump movies or anything else that Eddie's done, and he's playing multiple characters. I mean, that his gift. I think his gift, Jermaine, is still underrated.
I agree. There's so much replay value, and there's so much. You know how hard it is to do what he does, and the way he does it is so effortless. The man will sit in a chair for 6 hours, get into character, not just put on makeup, and he's embodying a different human being from the ground up. It is such an amazing thing for another human being to do. It's a skill that I don't think he's so, like, it's, I agree. I've watched both Clump movies. I've watched Life recently again, and I'm like, the man, it's his catalog is second to none.
Yep.
And he still has so much to give. I watched Dolomite. I was like, dude, it's yeah, man. I can talk all day about that, dude.
No, speaking of catalog, Jermaine Fowler's building his own catalog. Again, he had the honor, and we were blessed, as was he, to watch him play the long-lost son of King Hakeem in Coming to America. But he's building his own resume, building his own catalog. His latest is a horror film called Night Patrol. So again, for all you folk who love horror, there's a new one. It drops in theaters on January the 16th, starring one Jermaine Fowler, actor and comedian. Jermaine, what an honor to have had you on the program. Thank you for these 30 minutes, and I look forward to doing it somewhere down the road as your career continues to flower and flourish, my friend.
The pleasure's mine. You're a legend, brother. I appreciate you.
Honored to have you on this program. More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
Why does Tavis say when we come forward? Because he's not going back. And you don't have to go back either. Forward ever, backward never. More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough, but if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. The Alzheimer's Association provides care, support, and research to help you take control of the situation with your family and manage the disease together. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Black employees at Michigan's Department of State are suing Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson, alleging a racially hostile work environment. Black attorney Leonard Mungo represents the plaintiffs.
All of these employees have been subjected to unreasonable scrutiny, investigations, deliberate harassment.
The Wayne County lawsuit claims violations of the Elliott Larson Civil Rights Act. The Smithsonian's National Museum of African American History and Culture is launching an HBCU exhibit Friday. It will showcase artifacts from schools like Florida A&M, Texas Southern, and Tuskegee. And civil rights pioneer Claudette Colvin has died at age 86. At just 15, she was arrested in Montgomery, Alabama in 1955 for refusing to give up her bus seat, an act of defiance that came 9 months before Rosa Parks' protest. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
In Santa Ana on the 5 northbound 22 Bristol Street off-ramp, that crash still partially blocking that ramp. In Anaheim Hills, 91 westbound before Imperial Highway, got that injury accident, rollover accident over on the shoulder. CHP is still on the scene. In Diamond Bar, you got a work zone slowing you down, 57 southbound. Between Sunset Crossings and the 60, that right lane, it is going to be closed until 3:30 today.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers found their offense Tuesday night against Atlanta. They snapped a 3-game losing streak with a 141-116 win at Crypto.com. The 141 points was too shy of their season high. The Lakers had 36 assists and made 56% of their three-pointers, 19-34. LeBron played last night. For the first time this season, the 41-year-old star played in the second game of a back-to-back. After playing 33 minutes Monday night at Sacramento, LeBron played 33 minutes Tuesday night and led the Lakers with 31 points. He also had 10 assists and 9 rebounds. LeBron is not letting Father Time boss him around just yet. The Lakers are at home Thursday night against Charlotte. The Clippers are back in action tonight. They're at home against the Washington Wizards at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. The Clippers have won 3 straight. They are 10-2 since December 20th. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader. KBLA Talk 1580. Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader. Oh my God. Follow the leader. 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 Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a black and brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at walkgoodla. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. Made fresh daily in the Mert Park, Los Angeles, California. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
You know what time it is when you hear that. It's the theme from Sanford and Son. That program premiered on this day in 1972 with that amazing theme song from the late, great Quincy Jones. I talked to Q about that many times. Q did such amazing work. He did Sanford and Son, Ironside. He did a whole lot of theme songs for TV shows, not to mention the movie scores and Michael Jackson and everybody else, Frank Sinatra. Quincy had an amazing life. I miss my friend Q. But that's Quincy Jones on the theme song for Sanford and Son. Again, it premiered on this day in 1972. I'm a Sanford and Son fan. Don't know about you. But I look forward to a conversation here in just a moment with IIunga Adell about his time on Sanford and Son as a writer. It's also the case that speaking of missing people, Gary Shandling, the brilliant comedian who passed away some years ago. Gary Shandling started his career as a writer on Sanford and Son. It's hard to imagine. You see this white comedian who went on to huge stardom. But Gary Shandling, and I laughed about that many times, his career as a writer started on Sanford and Son as well. So a few folk got their start there. IIunga has gone on to work on some other great shows, beloved black shows, including 227, A Different World, Roq, and Moesha, just to name a few. But here's some sound from the very first episode on this day in 1972, the very first episode of Sanford and Son.
Hey, Pop, you got my breakfast ready? I don't smell nothing cooking. By the time you read this, I will be with your mother in that great junkyard in the sky. I think it's better this way. I ain't decided how I'm gonna do it. I was gonna use that World War I rifle, but my arm was too short to point it at myself and pull the trigger. I think it's better this way. Hello, operator? Get me the police. Quick, this is an emergency. Don't do it, Pop. Please don't do it. Hello, police? Listen, I just found a note that my father left me. What I'm afraid of is that he's going to do something foolish. That's right, a suicide note. His name is Fred Sanford. What does he look like? He's about 5'8", not too much hair, and oh yeah, did I tell you he's black? Right, put that down, he's black. What? How much does he weigh? I'd say about 180. 193. You creep. You miserable old creep.
Now, wait a minute, Lamont. I said in the note, I thought it would be better that way, but if you don't think so, I won't do it.
That episode, the first episode of Sanford and Son, it's called Crossed Swords. Crossed Swords is the first episode. I've seen all of them over the years. It's always amazing to me how work that is done decades and decades ago is still airing on TV stations in this country and around the world all these years later. It premiered on this day in 72. Here it is, 2026, and we are still watching reruns of Sanford and Son. But IIunga Adell was there as a writer on the show. Good to have you on the program, sir. How are you today?
So far, so good. How are you, Tavis?
Man, if I complained, I'd be an ingrate. I'm doing all right, man, and honored to be in conversation with you. I want to make the most of the time we have, and it's limited. Talk to me about being a writer on this show all those years ago.
It was my first television show. I had written a one-act play that was performed at the Public Theater in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe Papp who started the public theater, had his publicity mill working, and he had playwrights who had plays done at the public theater recently and photographed. It kind of looked like a police lineup. And there were two black writers, myself and Oyamo. Now, Aaron Rubin, the producer of Sanford and Son, reads the New York Sunday Times religiously. And he saw our photos in the Times. He had been getting a lot of flack because he didn't have any black writers writing for Sanford and Son. And so he said, if they wrote for Pap, maybe they can write for us. Now, I didn't consider myself a comedy writer. I consider myself a serious writer. But I went to he flew me to California. I pitched a couple ideas to him. He liked one of them. He said, go home, go back to the hotel and you write an outline. And he gave me an outline. I'd never seen a television outline before. But as I'm writing the outline, I think I'm like 24 years old. Anyway, I started writing an outline. I started writing dialogue also. And when I went back gave him to him the next day, he was a little upset because he said, I told you to write an outline, but he started reading it and he started laughing while he was reading it. And he said, okay, go home and write the script. And that was the start. That was the start. Sanford and Son was my first television show. As I said before, there was no writing staff on Sanford and Son. There was none. There were a lot of independent writers that were coming and pitch ideas.
What was it like? I got a few questions about this. What was it like being, this is your first gig at 24. This is 72, and just like there were no black writers on that show, there weren't black writers on a lot of shows back then. What are your recollections about what it felt like? I'm asking you a personal and emotional question. What did it feel like to be a black man in a writing room in the 70s in Hollywood?
Well, once again, there was no writing staff on Sanford and Son. There was none. The first time, I'm trying to remember, when was the first time I was on a show where there was a writing staff? That might have been The Righteous Apples with Topper Carew. That was a PBS show. And all the writers on there were black. So that just felt like home.
The same Topper Carew who did Martin years later, decades later.
Topper Carew. I think he was Martin's manager at one point. He managed a lot of people.
How much you mentioned there wasn't actually a writer's room. You were a writer on the show. What can you tell us about how much, if any, of what we saw Red Fox do was ad lib?
Not that much. It was mostly scripted. And when you rehearse before you shoot, first you sit down, you do a table read, you sit down and read the script. You go back and make notes and make changes. Then you'll see a rehearsal, a run through, and you'll see he might have ad-libbed something then. And then, but it would always be written into the script. It wasn't a lot of ad-libbing. It was some, but it's not a lot.
I think in some ways people have more leeway with that in film than they do in television.
It would depend on, I think you're right, but it would also depend on the director and the producer if they promote that ad-libbing.
Nope, I was just talking to a guest a moment ago about we were talking about Eddie Murphy. And you watch Coming to America or a bunch of other stuff that Eddie has done because he is a comedian. Eddie always had, and of course he's Eddie Murphy too, but Eddie always has the right to drop in an ad lib that he thinks is going to work. And so a lot of what you see when you see Eddie, maybe a lot is too much, but certainly there's an amount of a decent amount of ad lib whenever you see an Eddie Murphy film because Eddie just does what he does. So he starts in 1970 in the early 70s. On Sanford and Son, but he's gone on to write for so many other amazing shows. And when we come forward with IIunga Adell, I want to talk to him about some of these other shows he's worked on. Beloved black shows like 227, A Different World, Roq. Remember Roq? Roq and Moesha. And it seems to me that somewhere along the way, it's either choice or chance. Either just happened that Mr. Adell was on these shows, or he made a choice to write on black shows. Was it choice? Was it chance? I want to talk about that and all the great work he's done on these sitcoms over the years. You're listening to IIunga Adell on Tavis Smiley.
Hope, agency, dignity. This is Tavis Smiley.
Can you dig it? Come on!
Hi, it's Tavis Smiley. For 40 years, I have had the privilege, and I don't use that word lightly, the privilege of sitting down with presidents, world leaders, authors, artists, activists, the folk who shape our world. Thousands of conversations, tens of thousands of questions. And somewhere along the way, I realized that the art of conversation is dying. So here's what I'm going to do about it. I am now going to teach what these almost 40 years have taught me, how to have conversations that matter. 6 courses, from the anatomy of a great conversation to generous listening as a superpower to handling difficult exchanges without losing your dignity or your mind. Go to TavisTalks.com right now. That's TavisTalks.com. Download the free guide, see what's coming, sign up to be the first to know when we launch the series. Conversation is a skill, and like any skill, it can be taught. I'll see you in class.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well-trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision of Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. They're dedicated to improving life in LA County by providing educational support, employment assistance, and spaces for community engagement. By 2050, they want LA to be the best place to connect, create, learn, live, and play. They're working toward an education system that's well-resourced and culturally responsive, becoming a hub for artists and innovators, and making sure everyone has access to healthy food, quality healthcare, and safe housing. It's about building a future where we all have the chance to succeed. We invite you to learn more about their mission and get involved with Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Let's get back to more of this rich dialogue with Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley and IIunga Adell, writer, actor. We invited him on today because today in 1972, Sanford and Son premiered, and we're still watching it, still laughing at it. We know every episode. We watch it and laugh like we ain't never seen it before. But such is the case with an amazing sitcom like Sanford and Son, starring, of course, the late, great Red Fox and Damon Wilson.
A comedic genius.
Yeah, say that again. Say that again.
Red Fox was a comedic genius.
Unpack that.
He was funny. He didn't even try to be funny. It's like he had a funny computer in his mind, and stuff just came out funny, man.
Yeah, funny chip in his mind.
Yeah, and it was down to earth. We could talk to him like you're talking to me. Just walk up to him and talk to him.
Yeah,
there wasn't like a wall up between you and him. Now he knew he was a star.
Yeah,
and he appreciated being a star, but down to earth, man, down to earth. And I knew Damon Wilson, who played Lamont, before I went to Los Angeles. I started in theater as an actor, And the first play I did in New York, a play called Five on the Black Hand Side, which was made into a movie. Damon was in the cast of that play, so I knew him before I went to Los Angeles.
Yeah. How? Let me just let me phrase it this way. How were you at the age of 24 as a black man being given an opportunity to do something that you had never done before? How were you not intimidated by that moment? And by that moment, I mean the surroundings of Hollywood. You're working with a major star like Red Fox. Was there no intimidation in that moment for you?
It wasn't not for me, no. I was confident. I came of age during the Black Power movement. I had knowledge of self. I felt confident in that I can bring something to the table also.
Yeah.
That's of worth and a value. I was not born IIunga Adell. I was born William Adell Stevenson III, and I had just gotten back from the Congo. They were calling it Zaire in those days, where I changed my name to IIunga. The people in the Congo thought I was from the Congo, but they thought I was from a specific area of the Congo, Kasai or Katanga provinces. IIunga is a common name in that area. So I said, I'm going to change my name to Adell IIunga. They said, no, you got to be IIunga Adell, because we write and say our family name first. Oh, okay. I'll change it to IIunga Adell. And you know, when you're 24, man, I was probably 23 going on 24, because my birthday's in November, and it was probably in the spring when I started doing that. You just had and I really was not aware of how powerful that was.
Oh, yeah.
You know, writing on a hit TV show.
Oh,
I really didn't have an idea.
No.
I really didn't.
Well, your confidence.
Naive.
No, your confidence. Your naivete notwithstanding, your confidence held you steady, and he proved himself. He proved himself on Sanford and Son, and after that, I'm just fast forwarding here, comes 227 and A Different World and Roq and Moesha. We'll talk about that part of his journey when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
What's your quarrel with the world? You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Sometimes he fails at fitting in, but we're okay with that. You're inside the Tavis Smiley Show.
Got about 4 minutes left here. Just 4 minutes left here in this conversation with IIunga Adell. And in these 4 minutes, I want to start by asking, as I intimated or suggested moments ago, to my mind, it's either choice or chance that you spent your career, and I know you've done a lot more than the things I've mentioned, but 227, A Different World, Roq, Moesha, some pretty good television there. Was that choice or chance that you ended up working on so many iconic black shows?
People are let me put it to you this way. Television writing was segregated. There were very few black writers writing for white shows. If you're going to get a gig on a show, it was going to be black. 9 times out of 10. There was a writer named Thad Mumford who wrote for MASH.
Oh, yeah.
He was the exception to the rule. He was the exception to the rule. So you really didn't have a choice. If you're going to write for a television show, it was going to be a black show if you were a black writer in those days. I don't know how it is now.
Yeah.
I don't know how it is now.
Speaking of now, I was thinking about this in preparation for our conversation. There was a time, and I can think of actually a couple different times, certainly in my career, in my life, in this business, there have been a couple different times where there have been a plethora, a list of black sitcoms, black shows on the air at the same time. Yeah. But in those moments, there were so many, and in 2026, there are so few. What do you make of that?
It's a business. It's a business. People and a lot of white people are not familiar with black culture, and they're gonna create shows that reflect their own culture. That's what I make of it.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure most of the writers on, let's say, a show like Good Times were white.
Yeah.
Most of them were white.
That's true. No, I knew Norman Lear very well. And we had a number of conversations about that. So you're right about that. Let me just ask you, my time is getting away from me. Let me just ask you, what is the greatest joy? The greatest joy of having had the opportunity to be on Sanford and Son. Again, it premiered on this day in 72, but again, 227, Different World, Roq, Moesha, et cetera, et cetera. What's the greatest joy of looking back on your career and having had a chance to write on, again, these iconic black shows?
Greatest joy was meeting writers and people, writers and actors, directors. Some of them became friends. Many of them became friends.
Yeah.
That was the greatest joy, was interacting and meeting with people.
Yep.
And I consider myself a storyteller who came of age during the Black Power movement. And every now and then I got to make a statement in the show.
Yeah.
Every now and then. Every now and then. They had a saying that if you want to send a message, go to Western Union.
Yeah.
So you couldn't be preachy, or you had to slip stuff in. I got to slip some stuff in every now and then.
I love that, and we still doing that today. Every chance we get, IIunga, every now and then, as you said, we still try to slip stuff in. I do it every day. I'm trying to slip it in as best I can.
Brother, I laud you and applaud you for that. When I joined the theater in New York,
yeah.
Our mantra was, we want to do theater that will raise the level of level of consciousness of the black community.
Yeah.
When I became a TV writer, my audience expanded past the black community. So I said, I want to write things, tell stories that will raise the level of consciousness of whoever is watching.
There you go. You did it. You did it then, and we're still trying to do it today. His name is IIunga Adell. I'm out of time, but I've enjoyed this immensely. Sanford and Son premiered on this day back in 72, but we thank him for his work on Sanford and Son, and again, Moesha and Roq and Different World and 227. What a blessing it is for us to have watched stuff that he wrote. You didn't know it, but...